Blog Talk Radio. You are tuned into another Music Mondays right here on Endie Fiya with your girl, Nakia. Yo, it's Monday and I'm already tired. I know you're probably like, I know. I'm already tired. Already. Monday, man, I had like the worst weekend, guys. I've been in bed since Thursday. Think I crawled out of bed, to do the essentials like Thursday, like Friday, like Saturday, like Sunday. Had to go back to work today. And we had the show Saturday, but I'm exhausted. I am so tired. I have very strict orders to just kind of relax and just be stress-free up until March the 19th. I have to stay stress-free, and that's not even possible. When you work a regular 9 to 5 and I have this team of 40 that I have to manhandle daily, and then you run 4 businesses, and I got shows 3 nights a week, and you can't stay stress-free. You can't do it, but I have very strict orders to do so, and so that's how I started out by just, lounging this weekend, and, man, when I tell you, I felt like death creeped over me, Thursday, this new medication, I couldn't handle myself, you know what I'm saying? And, I'm used to anybody who's been rocking with me for the past 10 years, y'all know how I do with medication, right? And this wasn't really, it was an antibiotic, you know what I'm saying? And I couldn't handle it. It was just I was buried under crazy comforters and stuff. And you guys know I'm I have chronic anemia, and my iron count was down, and they were just are you taking your iron pills? Of course I am. Of course. With orange juice? Of course I am. Wish you could see the smile on my face. Of course. And so it's been freezing all weekend, and the weather's been up and down, right? And so, man, this weekend was crazy. Man, let's talk about the show on Saturday. Did you miss it? I know you did. Catch it on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, wherever you tune in, just go catch it, because we had some fun. We really did. The young ladies that called in, our panelists that called in, they were between the ages of 18 and 20, and they really brought some interesting topics of discussion, the millennials and dating and love and relationships, and, you know what I'm saying, they were on their A game on Saturday. And then the gentleman that called in, we had some gentlemen that, texted me after the fact, I was really trying to get in, but, I know I was a little late, and but they had some information that they wanted to share, or insight and advice that they wanted to share with these young ladies. So I'm going to bring them on, the latter part of this week, just a special show, just so they can drop those gems for these young ladies, because they want them to know that, all men they're dealing with now, even though I disagree. But you know what I'm saying? They had to grow into the space that they're in now, mentally, emotionally, physically. They had to grow into the space that they're in now. They admit they were knuckleheads back then, you know what I'm saying? But they had to grow into that. So they want these young ladies to know, as Robert stated on Saturday, you know what I'm saying? It's a developmental process. And even as females, you know what I'm saying? I can remember how I was at 18. I was probably like the dude that these young ladies are dealing with. I was probably like this, the males, not really giving a damn how I treated the guys, So I had to grow. As a female, I had to grow. But I hung around a lot of guys back then, so I acted like them. So I had to grow. As a young lady, I had to grow. And so I can't wait to hear what these other gentlemen, the gems that they want to drop on these females. So if you missed the episode, make sure that you tune in, all right? And go check that out and see what you missed on the annual Anti-Valentine's Day show, okay? All right, coming up tomorrow night time, we are taking a trip across, I don't want to say across the pond, but we're flying over to Europe. Yes, melodic trio, that rock band that you love, Pressure. We have them back. They are debuting a new track, that's dropping on the 19th. That's Friday. Yes, we got it here first tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Billboard chart-topping rock and roll heavy metal band Hydrogen is going to be here with us. I told you guys we had all the heavy metal rock and roll bands here this month. I think we have one more next week after Hydrogen. So if you can't make them all this week, please, please, please do not miss them all. One of my favorite holidays is ending up the end of this week. National Wine Lovers Day on the 19th. Okay? So we're going to talk about that on Friday as well. All right? In the background, you're listening to Black Earl. That's my varies that I manage. We got a little bit of Woe Now going on right now. So check him out. He has some new music. I don't manage him anymore. He's kind of independent right now. So, but he has some new things coming out. And make sure that you check him out. He's available on all digital download and streaming platforms. All right? My guest this evening, we introduced him back last month on the birthday show. And he's been on rotation, New Music Mondays. That protocol has been spinning. You seem to like it around here. I love it. If I love it, that's a good thing. But my guest this evening is hip-hop musician Nels The Artist. He's repping New York, the birthplace of hip-hop. Nels The Artist finds music as an outlet to express any true struggle apart from his own. Being a diverse artist and musician, Nels has learned to appreciate the depth of what is hip-hop. It's not just the name of the genre, but the craft that is created with it. Southern California is his second home now, a scene where hip-hop thrives. Music has become a major part of his path in life and has overtaken his heart and soul to give nothing but the best to his fans and followers. You can follow Nels on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Genius at Nels The Artist. Endie Fiya listening audience, I present to you this evening my very, very special guest, hip-hop musician, Nels The Artist. Yeah, what's good? What's good?
Ain't nothing much, just chilling, kicking it, ready to do a bomb show.
Yes, that's what I like to hear. So how you been?
Pretty good. Honestly, I can't complain. Just been hanging out with my ladies, keeping it low key. When I say my ladies, I mean my girl and my daughter. Those two are the reason I do everything I do.
Yes, I'm a stalker, so I have to know about my artists, my guests, my authors before they come on the show. So I grasped that. I already got that. I know. But nowadays there are people who are out there that have multiple wives, and I haven't seen too many with multiple husbands. I'm gonna make that happen. Yeah, but I already knew. But yeah, you better go ahead and explain that to the listening audience because they might be sitting over there like, he got multiple women, huh? Yes, he means his woman and his baby girl. All right, so you all over here thinking, because my listening audience, they'll be trying to get in your inbox, your DMs tonight. They be trying to holler. Don't set yourself up for failure, ladies. All right, all right. Them up. His girl will be on you. All right, don't go there. All right. I want to say thank you off top. I'm getting better with this. You know, you would think after all this time I would know to say thank you in advance and not on the end. But thank you for joining me this evening. You could have been anywhere, but you're here with me, giving so freely of yourself and of your time to share with me and my listening audience, just to let us know about Nels the Artist and why it is that you do what you do. So thank you again for being here with me this evening.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
You are so very welcome. And guys, I don't know if you missed the birthday show. Like I mentioned earlier, we debuted this protocol on the show, and you know, we talk about people a lot who are last minute on everything that they do. You know, but Nels he's heavily connected, you know, with somebody that we work with strong around here, Mr. Coco Vida Coquito. And so that's how Nels got to slide in at the very last minute. You know what I'm saying? We were talking about that before the show. So shout out to Sean. I know you're listening. Shout out. Much love to you. And thank you so much for the connection. I always got to give, you know, my props when they're due. So thank you so much, Sean, for this connection. Just to jump right into this, you know, most of my artists, they have some type of connection to the church or you know, their family's heavily connected within the industry. You know, they watched as a child growing up. But for you, where did you get your musical roots from? Did you one day decide, you know, hey, I love music and this is what I want to do? Or did you watch a family member sing in the church choir? Or, you know, did you watch your grandfather play the guitar every Saturday morning? Or, you know, what was it like for you? Where did you get your background from?
I mean, my family is Dominican, right? So, like, we every single thing, every get together, anything that we do usually will involve some kind of music in the background.
Some kind of music. Right? You ain't hear me say "ew," did you? Ew. Okay, go ahead.
so yeah, no. I've been jamming out ever since I was a little kid. I've always loved it. It's always been something that, you know, ever since I was young, I just remember like hearing sounds. Like that's what it was. If I hear a song, you know, I'm not just hearing, you know, the lyrics, or I'm not just hearing, oh, what this beat is. I'm hearing everything as a whole. So like
everything.
I've always loved the whole, like, how somebody can compose something from nothing. You know what I mean? From like just taking a bunch of random sounds, you put them together, and now you got music.
My dad is Puerto Rican and Cuban. That's why I had to you so quickly.
No way. Nah, see, no, I'm not. Don't tell me you're one of those people. No. I'm all about love. I love my islanders. No matter where you're from.
Gotta love everybody. Yeah, gotta love them all. I saw your flag on Twitter, so I told you I'm a stalker. I'd already saw that, so but I had to throw that in there.
It's
just a little bit. Yeah. All right. So, how would you describe your personal musical style?
I don't know, honestly. I would say, like, I'm just a dude who loves to rap. Like, if you hear some of my different stuff, you know, for the most part, like, it's all hip-hop music, but none of it is exactly the same, per se. You know, like, I like to do some experimental stuff. I have a couple of Spanish songs. There's, like, songs where I'm just Mr. Rappity-rap, you know, the lyrical, you know, like that, you know what I mean? And then I got some songs where it's like I'm more melodic. So, you know, I'm really just a dude who just loves rap and loves hip-hop and playing around with different sounds. So that's really kind of experimental, I guess you could say, would be my kind of niche.
But are there any particular artists that inspire your experimental style?
Yeah. As far as like just trying to go for some different sounds, I've always appreciated people like Kendrick in that aspect.
Yeah.
Like listening to him, like he'll pull in like an oboe. You know what I'm saying? And there'll be somebody playing a harp in the background, and you know, so like I like stuff like that. Or even this might sound kind of weird and kind of left field, but even people like Tyga, right? Who, for the most part, you know, he's got his songs that are like the club song, right? but like he's on Spanish music too.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool considering like, you know, where he comes from and all that stuff, how it is out in LA and all that with the, you know, the essays versus the blacks and all that, blah, blah, blah. But like, nah, here he is.
Right.
And he's doing songs that blowing up all over the world, not even understanding what the other verse was, you know? So.
Right, right. What's the scene like? Yeah. Just because you mentioned LA, what's the scene like? I've only visited LA, and it's been years the last time I was there. So I know, and I wasn't there, I was only there for a funeral, so I wasn't there long enough to really get into the culture as far as music is concerned. Mm-hmm. So what are the main differences as far as, and I can talk about, you know, what I've studied and what I've researched and what I read about, but living in it, what's the main difference between East Coast and West Coast hip-hop, living in it and working around it? What's the main difference for you?
As far as the hip hop and being around it, right? I think, I'm sorry, I'm allowed to throw it right. I don't want to get in trouble with that.
Hey, we on the couch. We've been hanging for years.
All right, cool. Yeah, no, I think one of the biggest differences that I noticed is like, I don't know, sometimes in the East Coast, like we can get a little more grimy. It's like, you know, like you got more Zelda sounding type music than you would out here. Here, stuff has like more of a bounce to it, if you will, or there's more stuff out here sometimes that drops that is more stuff you ride to. So I think that's the biggest thing that I noticed, because like I came out here, you know, and say I'll go to the studio and I'll link up with some West Coast guys, and just the style is so different. It still sounds good on a track. Like, you know, in Protocol, for example, the second verse and third verse are for some Cali guys. But we managed to make it work, and our styles are really different. It's just that's the biggest difference I noticed. East Coast, we can get a little more grimy than out here, as far as like the sound goes. As far as the sound of the music.
You haven't lost your flavor at all. You're still repping New York.
Absolutely, all day. It made me.
Yeah, all day. Kind of off the topic question here. What's the first album that you ever owned?
Ooh. All right. So, like the first, you talking about hip hop or like the first album?
The first album that you ever owned.
Oh man, don't laugh. It was a greatest hit. It was the Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5 greatest hits.
Bro, why would I laugh? I love Mike.
I would blast that. I would blast that shit all day, every day, just sitting here doing the dance moves, doing the spin, the kickback. Yes, that was my first thing.
How did you get it?
My mom bought it for me. So I was, as a little kid, like, I mean, I was born in 80, so I grew up in the 90s, right? Like, Michael Jackson was the man, okay?
The man, yeah.
So I'm talking about, I'm a little kid. I'm putting on one little winter glove, walking around trying to moonwalk and do the spin, grabbing my crotch, and yeah, man. So she's like, all right, well, clearly he likes Michael Jackson. Like, I'll get him some old Michael Jackson, and she got me the greatest hits, and it was over after that.
And so seeing that, how old is your daughter?
She's 8 now.
All right. So have you introduced her to this? You know, I know that she's probably, I don't know who's out now that she would listen to. She's probably into that. But have you introduced her to the legend known as Michael Jackson?
Yeah, so definitely, like she can. So sometimes, like if we're in the car or even just hearing a song will come on, right? and she'll know a voice like, oh, that's Prince, oh, that's Michael Jackson, that's Patti LaBelle, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I try my best to kind of like, you know, put her on game a little bit, but other than that, if we're talking about like some new stuff, like she'll know her Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, her Beyonce, she knows Cardi B, and she knows Kids Bop, because we be on Kids Bop heavy. Some of this stuff out here is a little wild.
Yeah. Does she listen to JoJo Siwa?
She did. She don't really like listen to JoJo Siwa anymore.
Okay. All right. I have a what is she, 4? I have an almost 5-year-old goddaughter, and that is like, I don't know. She worships JoJo Siwa. I can't get into nothing she says.
She's like caking. She's caking right now. She's doing it big. I mean, these little kids absolutely love her. Like I said, so when my daughter like used to listen to her, I mean, she had the JoJo Siwa slippers, the jacket, the T-shirt, the dolls.
Yeah, I invested in all of that stuff, but I can't get into her. I can't. All right. So speaking of artists, I don't know. Have you seen a lot of artists when the world was opened? You know, did you see a lot of artists perform?
So in the West Coast, I've seen more, like local and independent type of artists, right? Because like a lot of the, you know, any performances I do are not it's not like I'm not doing staples, right? But I'll do a couple of the venues on Sunset Avenue, right?
Okay.
Sunset Boulevard. I'm sorry. So like me and my boy Sketch, the kid who's one of the guys on Protocol, we'll drive up to LA and we'll just bang out a venue at like, or we'll go do a show at a bar, right? And there'll be like a good 50 people or so, and then we'll just hit up. Next thing you know, it's a competition over here at this venue, and we'll go hit that up, and it'll be like 100 people, and we just go hopping, and we'll start hitting different spots. And but in the East Coast was when I saw like big artists. So like I would see shows like Daddy Yankee and freaking Rick Ross show. You know what I'm saying? So here, since I've been in the West Coast, I haven't gotten to see any big artist shows. Most of the big artists that I've ever seen, they were all in the East Coast.
All right. So even this can be either an indie artist or mainstream. What are 3 things that you look for when you see an artist play live?
I don't want to use the term swag per se. I guess this is his aura, the vibe you get, right? Because like you can tell when somebody's comfortable. Yeah, like you can tell when somebody's comfortable somewhere if they're not, right? Another thing is, you know, just like their look. Like, do they look a little like uptight, or are they actually like, oh, they've been here before?
Right.
You know. And then I look for, you know, just how the performance itself, like, are you performing over the track? If you're not performing over the track, how clear can I hear you over the instrumental or even a cappella? And then other than that, just like I just try to listen to the music. And, you know, sometimes artists' performance might not be the best, but they might have a really good song. And it really is just a matter of like, man, I bet you if this dude performed this, you know, just a couple more times, like, man, this would be an absolute hit. So that's some of the stuff I kind of look for if I'm looking at a different artist.
In your live performances, are you exhibiting the same qualities that you look for in other artists?
I try my best.
Are you making sure that your vibe is appealing to your the audience? Are you making sure that you have the look that, you know, or they see Nels the Artist and they're like, oh, snap, Nels the Artist. Like, what? Like, already the name sounds intriguing. So are you making sure that the look matches the name, you know? Are you setting off that vibe? Are you making sure that your performance, the music is not going to be louder? You're not singing before the track? Are you doing all of this that you're expecting that, other artists that you're going to see are doing? Are you doing all of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I try my best to anyways. I can't say sometimes whatever circumstance may be, one thing might not be to the best that it could have been, but I try my best to, for the most part at least, always be charismatic, talk to the people, show them some love, move around on the stage, definitely have that presence, because they're going to feel me when I'm in the building, right? And at least, I'm gonna look the part. I'm going to look right. Now, sometimes as far as, the actual sound of the music, I'll have, the performance track up, and they have it too low or something. So now you're not really hearing the performance how it's meant to be performed because, they got the music too low. Now it's almost like I'm just doing an acapella on the stage, or the music might be too high and they have the microphone down too low, or a mic might cut out during the show. These are some things that you can't really control. So I just try to do my best with what I can.
Got you. Where do you find your motivation? I know that, especially during this period now, almost a year of COVID, when, artists may have been so used to being able to book shows and travel and without any type of scrutiny and hop up on a stage whenever they wanted to, sell out shows and just do the unthinkable. And now everything, it has to be so calculated because of COVID. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you find your motivation just to continue to keep going?
Yeah, I'll definitely say it's been tough since the whole COVID thing, shutting everything down, especially in California. They shut it down,
Right.
So really all I could do is, after a while, is just you come up, you have your plan, right? You have your goals and all these things that you want to try to attain, and you simply just try to stick to it to the best of your ability. So whatever I could control, whatever I could do, say if it's something all right, take the website down and start revamping everything, rebranding and stuff like that. That's some stuff that you can kind of do behind the scenes. And then just really I'm more so just trying to look at the future now at this point. I can do what I can do now, and I just try to look at the future and use, like I said earlier, my ladies, they've been nothing but supportive of me and been, my number one, just source of, motivation, really. They're the ones who push me, hey, let's work on this, or hey, I can't wait to get you here, and for you to do this and that kind of stuff. It gets me excited and makes me want to work on something, or see what the next thing is. Yeah, don't get all mushy. I wasn't trying to get sappy or nothing. I was just being honest.
I mean, it's one thing when you have a supportive spouse or a supportive girlfriend, but when you have your children who can take this ride with you, you know what I'm saying? They get excited when their parent releases a new track. They're just as excited as a fan. A lot of artists, sometimes they don't take into consideration that, the lyrics that they put out, that I have a small child who may at some point hear this. You know what I'm saying? They don't take that into consideration. They don't even value the opinion of that child. So when you have a support system that rocks with you that hard, you get the feels. You know what I'm saying? So I love that.
Definitely.
I do. I love that. What is your songwriting process like? Are you this artist that has to have, hey, Sketch, the kids started following us on Instagram? That's one of your people, right?
Man, that's my brother.
Yeah. My people, they crazy. They got to send me little things. Thank you, guys. I guess it's important because we're gonna play, Protocol pretty soon. But what is your songwriting process like? What comes first? You one of these artists that has to have the beat first before you can write your lyrics, or you write your lyrics and then you go find a beat? What comes first for you?
Now, I'm a weirdo, right? So I'm really weird, and I be in the most random place, and I'll think of a line or two, and I'll just write it down, right? So sometimes it's a culmination of I'll just be random places and I think of something, so I jot it down. I write everything down, always, ideas, lyrics, whatever. So I write it down, and then later on, I might be listening to beats, and then I'm like, yo, I had this bar, or I had these couple bars, or I wrote a half a verse earlier, just waiting for my fingers. All right,
That's
I'm gonna
not
throw that
weird.
on this.
I used to write that way. And my stuff would come to me in my sleep. I would have to get up 2:00 in the morning, jot it down, right? And then my producer would send me a crazy beat 2 weeks later, and I'd be like, wait a minute. I remember 2 weeks I had something that would go perfect with this. Hold up. I got it right here. I go flipping through notebooks oh, shit, this will work. This is it right here. Yeah, but I don't have nothing but this hook. Okay, I'm going to come back and revisit this. Yeah, that's not weird. I feel you. Yeah.
No, but then I also have my moments too where I'll be where I won't have anything but the beat, and it could be by myself, or I could be hanging out with some friends or whatever, and we're listening to the beat or whatever. It'll be based off the vibe that I'm getting, So say Protocol is one of those type of songs where Sketch was writing, and where he hits me with 8 bars, and I'm like, yo, that's dope. I start writing, and then I'll share mine, and then he finishes his because he played off of something that I said, or So for the most part, my process is I kind of have some stuff written beforehand, right, and then I build concepts around that, but in the right setting, usually in the right setting, I write right there on the spot.
Ooh, so let's jump into Land of the Free. What was the writing process like for that track?
That one was on the spot one, but it was one that I definitely had to revisit, right? So it was I was listening to the beat one day, and this was shortly after somebody had. I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful or anything by, sounding kind of dismissive. I just don't remember exactly who it was, but it was one of those instances where a cop wrongfully killed somebody, right? And these were a string of events kind of happening at the same time.
Okay.
So I'm listening to the beat, and I'm just This was just kind of in my head. I wasn't planning to write about it. I didn't know what to write about. It's just a thought that popped up, and then I was like, yo, today on TV I saw another president. This is really, again, And then I was like, I'm starting it like this. And then that's how that came about. I just started writing, and then I paused a little bit, right? I wrote the verse that night, and then a couple days later, somebody else got killed. And I was like, this shit is wild. So, whenever I did go back to writing the song, I just had the ammo there. Because, there were so many feelings just in me. And I'm like, man, this is, you would think that by now we've, I guess, developed out of this, right? But we had nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. So that's how that one. That's how that one came out.
All right. Well, I want to go ahead and give you the opportunity to introduce your track, "Land of the Free," to our listening audience.
All right, everybody. You're about to check out "Land of the Free" by yours truly, Nels the Artist. Here it goes.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Today on TV. TV, I saw another man dead. What the hell is going on in my community? If it ain't cops killing us, we just kill each other. How could we not have regards for our own brothers? Just when I thought that the streets were safe, the truth is fake. I contemplate to leave this place, this peace I chase. Hopefully I win the race, and if I don't, I pray I learn from my mistakes. Weed, shoes, pain, war, guns, drugs, destroying each other but need hugs and love. Now you tell me that we got a fucking racist for a president?
I do not believe he's a true conservative. These people are stupid.
Another leader to make our movement seem irrelevant. Belligerent is the mass with the ignorance. They don't want us to live, so they poison in the medicine and constantly undermine our needs. How we ever supposed to win in the land of the free, huh? How we ever supposed to win in the land of the free, huh? God damn. How we ever supposed to win? Big gang, how they ride on us. Bang, bang when they mob on us. Fast cars with the lights on them. 4 dudes strapped with gats, protectors of the law, but you're probably gonna die for them. They never really wanted us to live. They trying to keep us down is what it is. America don't care about the kids. And in the ghettos, man, they take our schools. So fuck that, I'ma break y'all rules. I play the board and make sure y'all lose. You little punks can't trump my moves. I'm a motherfucking king. Prayers to my brothers locked down in the bank. From saying quitting all the way to sing. A lot of deaths seem to be a skin thing. From saying quitting all the way to sing. Police brutality is too common of a thing. Damn.
This weekend, a white police officer shot and killed a black woman inside her own home in Fort Worth. It comes less than 2 weeks after former Dallas police officer Amber Geiger was sentenced to 10 years in prison for killing her unarmed black neighbor.
There is growing outrage tonight after an unarmed African-American teenager was shot and killed by police in the St. Louis suburb of Ferguson, Missouri. 2 black men are dead after encounters with police in Minnesota and Louisiana, and social media has sent both of their stories viral. Across the country this weekend, hundreds were arrested in ongoing protests over police shootings of black citizens. Largely peaceful protesters blocked roadways in several cities, including St. Paul, Minnesota. Lando Castillo was fatally shot by a police officer in a suburb of St. Paul last Wednesday.
If you're just tuning in, you're live right here on Music Mondays on Endie Fiya with your girl Nakia and my very special guest, hip-hop musician Nels The Artist. That right there was Lands of the Free. Guys, I'm sitting here thinking, like, we're going to have another category added to the, what are we up on, fourth annual Endie Fiya Radio Award Show? Yeah, fourth? Yeah, I don't know what we're going to entitle it, but we have gotten so many songs this year that embody 2020 Black America. And, every time I come back, I'm so emotionally distraught just because, for one, I have 3 black sons, and these songs always leave me in a very emotional, fragile state, like I can't guard them all my life. My sons are grown, 26, 22, and 15. I can't guard them forever. You know what I'm saying? And I have a 20-year-old daughter. I can't guard them forever. I can't guard the black man forever, But when I hear these songs, it's like I want to just take up everything within me and just go out and just be more vigilant. I know it is important for us to just stay focused and be vigilant and be protective of what is ours, but our brown and our black youth and men and every time I hear a song like this, it just motivates me more, inspires me more, and encourages me more just to get out and fight. You know what I'm saying? Y'all tell me what y'all think about Land of the Free. We have to have a category next year. We really do. We have to have a category. It's because we've gotten so much music. Music is a way for us to express ourselves. It's a mental release. And for you, as a male of color, how have you been able to use music? Not put aside the fact that you've always loved music and you've always loved hip hop and you've always loved rap, but how has it been? How have you used it to be able to mentally release throughout everything that has gone on within the past 2 years?
I mean, honestly,
because men are so used to being our protectors and our providers and not showing their vulnerable side, keeping stuff bottled up and not really expressing themselves. But music is a form of expression. It's a way for them to just get out what is bottled up inside of them. How has it helped you throughout everything that has gone on? I'm going to just say the past 2 years. How has it helped you?
I mean, honestly, like it's a form of therapy, right? That's something that's not touched on too much. I want to say like people who have just started over the last few years, maybe even more so over the last like 1 year or so, people have been a little bit more open to talking about things like mental health or like even just talking about their own issues, right? So for me, it's an outlet. It is a way for me to be able to share what's on my mind and be able to get what's on my chest, like get some stuff off my chest without it being in a destructive way. You know what I mean? Like with Land of the Free, I could have gone out there and, protested and rioted, right? Or, gone out there and done negative things, like been out there. Like I protested and did all that, but like I could have done it in a negative way. I could have been out there like looting, whatever, you know what I'm saying, beating people up just because I think they did us wrong, whatever, right? But instead I decided to express my feelings and what it is that I'm seeing in the form of, my art. And that to me is what kind of helps me like I could breathe, like, all right, well, here's what I honestly feel like. Now you take it and receive it how you may, how you wish. And like so for me, it's just really been a form of therapy because I guess it's a lot harder to talk to somebody about some things than it is to talk into a microphone. Like the mic don't talk back; it just listens.
I feel you. What do you feel has been the biggest barrier for you that you've had to overcome as an independent artist?
Maybe I would say maybe certain finances, right? In the sense of like you have your priorities and things of that nature, and the things that you can fund, and certain things that you can't. Like clearly, somebody who's independent isn't going to have the financial backing of somebody in a major, right? So that means whether it be for production, studio time, whatever marketing strategies, just to even get your stuff played on, other platforms. A lot of times there is some sort of fee associated with that, right? So I think that's, probably one of the tougher things, even like for things like photo shoots and videos, you need capital for things like that. So unfortunately, an artist who doesn't have that type of financial backing, or if they don't have certain connections, you know, like a friend who's a photographer or something like that, right? Then they'll be seeing they might have some of these setbacks and have a couple more hurdles to jump over than an artist who is already like, you have the whole layout, you have everything right here, all you got to do is just paint.
Gotcha. And I think that is that when I do ask that question, that's the barrier for most independent artists. Unless they have saved before they started, you know, that career, or unless they're working multiple jobs, or unless they have the many sponsorships, you know, that seems to be the biggest roadblock. And I won't even say roadblock because there's ways to maneuver around it, but
exactly right.
When you're trying so hard, you know, to get to each level, that seems to be the biggest barrier. And even with me, I've been doing this. I don't know. This maybe the 9th year. This is the 4th year for this show, but even still, there's so many barriers that we have, you know, and there's so many people that I choose not to work with. You know, people always tell you don't burn your bridges. You know what I'm saying? And I'm good for burning bridges. I'll set the fire myself because I'm very picky. You know, I don't want to work with everybody. I have that. I have that right to say who I want to work with and who I don't want to work with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But with that being said, I don't feel like I'm being blessed because I continue to bless other people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm good. I found my niche, like you mentioned earlier. I found my niche. I know what I'm good at, and so, but I still face my barriers. I want to bring in you have a caller on the line. I want to bring them in because I do want to jump into protocol. So I do want to bring them in, see if they got some shout-outs. They want to show you some love, or even if they got some questions for you. Let's see. Area code 305. Who do we have on the line with Nakia and Nels The Artist?
What's good, Nels? It's the kid. I had to call in and say what's up.
Yo,
How he just going to be like,
good,
what's good, Nels? He ain't even say, what's good, Nakia? Dang, rude. How you doing?
No, I'm trying to balance this sound out on my phone. It's messed up. I'm sorry. Okay, well, there we go. There we go. What's up, Nakia? How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing? You called in at the perfect time. See, we was about to play protocol. So while I got you here, you know, I know this isn't your interview, but while I got you here, you know, since we was just about to talk about protocol, I can give feedback from, you know, 2 artists on the track. What was the creative process like for the creation of protocol?
Oh man, this was back when we were still in Miami, and I forgot what happened, but it was one of them things where if you listen to the song, you know, it was just a succession of people popping up over the house at the wrong time and just not checking in before they popped in.
Yeah.
And then they expect you to entertain them when they're at your door, and you feel bad because you know, some people can send people away, and some people are nicer, depending on who it is. And so it was just kind of like after a week of the same thing happening, you know, it kind of came to me. I was listening to a beat, and me and him linked up, and I asked him what he thought about turning the concept into a song. And as soon as I explained it to him, his face lit up. So, and then we worked on it, you know, in Miami, and never got a chance to get around to recording it. And then when we finally moved out here, because I'm originally from California, when we moved out here together, both of our families, we linked up with somebody else that was helping us get some recording done, and went ahead and put the track together. And then we asked him if he would hop on the third verse just to kind of tie the whole concept together of, you know, 2 people sitting in the house, you know, 2 different perspectives of people knocking on the door. And then we were like, you know, it'd be kind of cool to get the perspective of one of the people that, you know, knocked on the door expecting us to be ready to entertain. So, and it kind of just came together.
All right, so Nels, what is your take on protocol? I know when Sean and I played it on the birthday show, I was like, shit, this is like my life right here, because I don't tell nobody where I stay at, so you damn sure better not just pop up. And if you do pop up, broke protocol. I mean, what? Like, who does that? like, no. Like, you don't just do that.
Yeah,
Who does this? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah,
how
it's like my
you
theme song. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now,
Right.
What's
Like, you
your
can't
take
just
on it?
Yeah, no. I mean, he pretty much hit it on the head. Like you said, it was something we started working on in Miami, right? And then once we were here and actually got our bands and met a couple of people, we met Getty, right? And then he was just going to assist with, recording us, right? So we're hanging out or whatever, and we record the track, and he's like, damn, dog, this is hot. I'm like, and he had played some stuff of his before, and we're just like, man, this needs a third verse. And he was like, oh, dude, like, I'd love to get on if you guys will have me. And, we thought about it. Was like, all right, cool. Well, let's see what you got. Throw your verse on there and let's hear it. And then we can move on from there. And then pretty much that's how Protocol came about. Like it was something me and Sketch already had in the bag already. And then, Getty was doing us a solid, recording us. And, and then he hopped on it, and that was that.
All right, so go ahead and introduce it to the listening audience. Now, they've heard it before, but, there may be somebody who, I don't know, maybe they just jumped on tonight and been under a rock and don't know what we're talking about. But go ahead and introduce the track to the listening audience.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to Endie Fiya Radio. Right now, you're about to hear Protocol by your boy Nels The Artist, Sketch the Kid, and Getty. Here we go.
Protocol, gotta check the protocol. Don't just show up in my house, you're supposed to call. Check the protocol, gotta check the protocol. Check the protocol, gotta check the protocol. Don't just show up in my house, you're supposed to call.
Walk to the door, homie, what the heck? How you show up at my crib? You ain't even send a text or a ring. Don't just show up unannounced, it's a thing. It's as simple as that. Bada boom, bada bing, oh well. Since you hearing ain't hit up my cell, you should buy a couple bottles and turn up with Nelly Nell. I'ma tell all my homeboys and homegirls to get this party pumped up like gas at the Shell. Hell, I think a little liquor do as well, cause my girls coming through when our booty's looking swell. And some ladies coming through and my niggas coming through. Nobody gon' call the cops cause the neighbors coming too. Ooh, outfit is killing them, look so cool when I'm chilling. The alcohol's in the kitchen, I'm taking shots and I'm feeling them. Now my body is tingling, I'm in my zone, homie. You ain't getting in if you ain't hit my phone, so check the protocol, gotta check the protocol. Check the protocol, gotta check the protocol. Check the protocol, gotta check the protocol. Don't just show up in my house, you're supposed to call. Check the protocol, gotta check the protocol. Check the protocol, gotta check the protocol. Check the protocol, gotta check the protocol. Don't just show up in my house, you're supposed to call.
Minding my biz, heard a rat-a-tat-tat like who the fuck is this? It's some people in my people like a G-fo. Gotta let them in, they got agave and some trees. Whoa. We gon' turn up and burn up, some that's the facts. But hit the kid it before you slide to my pad. Could've been eating and beating, working and sleeping. It would've been your loss if I was gone for the weekend. I'm a busy man, can I get a witness? But that don't mean I don't wanna kick it. It just means that I gotta make time. So before you pop up, please hit the kid's line. I'm a simple man destined for some big shit, but that don't mean I'm down to burn bridges. It just means that I gotta make time. So before you slide through, please hit the kid's line.
check the protocol, gotta check the protocol. Check the protocol, gotta check the protocol. Check the protocol, gotta check the protocol. Don't just show up in my house, you're supposed to call. Check the protocol, gotta check the protocol. Check the protocol, gotta check the protocol. Check the protocol, gotta check the protocol. Don't just show up in my house, you're supposed to call.
That how it's so disrespectful. Ding dong, no need to call or text you. Don't take me wrong, Mr. What the heck? Without me here at your shindig, it wouldn't be successful. Presence of a king, little mama, I bless you. When she hold the 38, I'm calling it special. I got a problem when it's time to get at you. Protocol of the homies, they hit a call, they gon' smash you. Drinking all the liquor, I was having me some. I was smoking all the weed and I was feeling my lungs. I was eating all the food and I was feeling my stomach. Everybody looking at me like this nigga ain't brought nothing. So disrespectful. Pissing in the pool while I was wearing a fat suit. But you my nigga, I don't mean to upset you. Never call when I come over, that's the way that I met you. Protocol, check the protocol, gotta check the protocol. Check the protocol, gotta check the protocol. Check the protocol, gotta check the protocol. Don't just show up in my house, you're supposed to turn it up. Check the protocol, gotta check the protocol. Turn it up. Gotta check the protocol. Turn it up. Check the protocol, gotta check the protocol.
now, what's good? It's your girl, Jana Blackwell, C-Town Records, Mistress of Soul. And you're on the air with the hottest independent station, Endie Fiya, with your host, Nakia, giving you that heat right here on the station, bringing you all of the hottest hip-hop hits, Endie Fiya.
Oh, guys, he was so disrespectful, pissing in the pool. Oh, my God. Yes, so disrespectful. Y'all, that was Protocol, Nels The Artist, Jet, and Getty. Disrespectful. Mad disrespectful. He can never roll up at my house. Never. Never, never. Nels, I got one more question for you. One more question for you. Do you think you could get any better as a musician? And if so, how would you achieve that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, nobody's perfect, so we can all get better in whatever it is we do, right? But me personally, I would just continuing to work on the craft. You get better by putting in the man hours, right? So for me, it's just by writing more, recording more, performing more, just, trying to work on the craft of the art more, working on visuals and things of that nature that are more abstract or out of the ordinary, that are just not your typical normal thing that you see in every visual that you consume. That's how I feel I could get better. But yeah, definitely, I definitely think I could get better and, just keep on pushing and growing. That's really the goal, make ourselves better.
All right, now collectively, because I still have you both on, there may be an artist, a young artist who's on and they're listening now and they say, you know what, I just heard Protocol and I love the track. They heard it for the first time. Now, I remember when I heard it for the first time, I was up dancing around because when the beat first dropped, I thought of the Baby Mama dance. I don't know if anybody's ever told you comes on, the Baby Mama dance, right? And so this new artist is saying to themselves, they're like, oh, my gosh, like, yeah, I heard that too. You know what I'm saying? But I listened to that track. I've heard, what he said tonight. I actually like Land of the Free. I was motivated by what he had to say. I was inspired, by what he had to say. Read his bio. I actually even did a East Coast, West Coast move. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we got a lot in common. And I feel like I actually have what it takes to be, maybe the next kind of sort of Nels the Artist or Sketch the Kid, But I'm stuck right now. I don't even know the next move that I need to take. What piece of advice could the both of you offer to this aspiring new artist?
Yeah, you want to go ahead and take this one? And I go next?
Yeah, I'll take it. For me, what helped me out when I was early on trying to get everything going is just don't stop creating. Because it's easy to try to follow a sound that's working and try to duplicate that. But once that kind of, especially with the way things are pick up and put down nowadays, and things are super trendy, something might be popping today and then all of a sudden people don't want to hear it no more. People's attention span with the 2-minute songs is a whole lot shorter nowadays. So it's just you want to keep creating. You want to build a catalog, in a sense, kind of like one of the people that Nels always refers to talking about is Russ. And the fact that whenever he first started out, he just kept putting song after song after song after song. And you might not want to do it like that. You might not have the resources to do it like that, but you just want to keep creating so that you can find your sound and find that comfortability that you're looking for. Because like how he was talking about the stage performances earlier, you can tell when somebody's put something together that's not really them. It might sound good, but they can't rock it on a stage because it's not really recorded. So you want to be familiar with the music, you want to be comfortable with your sound, you want to be in the studio. It's easy to think you can record a song, but once you get in front of that mic and different engineers and different studio setups, sometimes it can be overwhelming. So they just want to get in and create and don't stop. And that's the first thing I would tell anybody.
Yeah, and then for me, honestly, I would just. Oh, I'm sorry. I would say just don't stop learning. So Sketch says don't stop creating, right? The key, the way I look at it is like you got to be like a shark. A shark stops moving, it dies. You know what I'm saying? So you got to keep on swimming. You're going to keep on trucking. You got to keep on learning. You got to keep on recording, keep on writing, and just keep on trying to get better. Like I mentioned earlier, the goal is to get better consistently. Even if you think you're the best, you think Hove's not over here thinking, he's like, oh, man, I just killed that track with Nipsey the other day, but I think I could do better. Like I'm pretty sure that's his mindset. So really, that's what I'm saying. It's just always don't stop learning, don't stop trying to get better, because that people will see that, and it will show. It will show in your art. It'll show in your music, and it'll even show just with the relationships that you try to build. Like clearly, if you work with some people and they notice that you are hungry and you do want to learn and you're trying your best to, maneuver, I think people might be a little bit more willing to lend a hand out. Not so much to give you a handout, but just be able to at least point you in the right direction,
Awesome advice from both of these gentlemen. And guys, like I always tell you, when these artists, these authors, these guests, when they drop these gems, do not just sit on them or sit on it. Soak it all in, not only making it applicable to your music careers, to your careers as authors, but, apply it to your life in general. This was awesome advice that they both dropped on you. This is it, guys. End of the show. Amazing interview. Nels, thank you so much. Sketch, thank you so much for stopping by. Sketch, we got to get you on the show.
Sure.
We got to get you on the show.
We can definitely line that up.
Yes, we got to do that. Guys, make sure that you're right back here tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The melodic rock trio Pressure will be here all the way from Sweden, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12:30 a.m. if you're in Sweden. All right. I'll see you then, guys, leaving you with our Black History Month anthem. It seems like this is Black Lives Matter Freestyle, our girl, brown skin Quinn, out of the Bronx. See you tomorrow. Have a good night.
Mommy, it is true what you taught me. People fear what they don't understand, and they hate what they can't conquer.
He really thought that God.
Black lives matter, all glass shatters, but I'm built like a brick house and climbing a ladder of success, putting all my haters to rest. I like to stay to myself so that I can stress less. See, I'm strong like the Rock mentally, but I got muscles. I speak for Dr. Sebi and Nipsey, so I hustle. I got 2 kids to feed, you know I love you. I'm talking to my babies, that's why I bubble. The world's filled with trouble, my guns stay cocked. I'm cold, so when it's beef, I ain't calling the cops. Underestimate me and end up under 6 feet. I'm dangerous, I'm in the game and I'm playing for keeps. I do it for Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. I do it for the Trayvon Martin and race of black boys. Hate is what you speak, then I'ma make sure that blood is what you leak. Put my soul on a beat. I am God, G-O-D, I am hard. With a 42 CEO, I met jobs. Who know better than mama? Spit hotter than lava. I'm the Bronx bully, and I took the key to your locker. Emancipation Proclamation, I'm fighting Satan. You call it truth, I call it lies. Government dedication to teaching self-hate and segregation. Systematic racism, books filled with false education.